Most of you by now know that I work at VIP Mortgage. A lot of you may not know why or how I got there. For us as LOs, we have a lot of options, and for me, VIP Mortgage was the perfect fit, the best place, in my opinion, to work. So if you have any questions about VIP Mortgage as an LO, or if you are a consumer and you're looking for a mortgage, you can reach out to me on social media, or you can reach out to anybody else that you may know at VIP Mortgage. And our website is VIPMTGINC.com. Welcome, everybody, to Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. We have another special episode today. First off, I want to thank VIP Mortgage for letting us have this space here. It's getting better and better as we go. Thank you to my sister over here that will chime in here and there. So be ready, Kent. She helps with the social media and the organization of this whole podcast. And then my nephew and godson. Oh, there you go.
Killer.
Trey. Family Affair. Trey back over there. He's the podcast engineer, so to speak. And so, special guest here. We're bringing it back to the real estate world. And I think we've only had, I guess we've had two LOs on here, so mortgage bankers. We've had Eric.
Stuart.
Oh, okay.
Austin.
I forgot about Stu.
Eric.
I'm a listener.
Oh, we've had four. And we've had Aaron Payne.
Aaron Payne.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the hat he's wearing today.
You're repping Aaron.
Aaron Payne.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah. So Kent is Kent Nielson's here with VIP Mortgage. He's out of the Tempe branch, and he is the one of the first guys I think we brought over here right after Austin Bates that kind of I think put us on the map a little bit. I think so, right? Yeah. You brought over a big branch. You guys were huge at your previous company. You and I had become really good friends through our buddy Brian North, which we need to have him back on. So today, Kent and I talked before we got here, and we want to talk a little bit about. So Kent's the dude. So Kent's the guy that that's had more burnout in this business than anybody I've ever seen. Like, this dude's in and out of this job constantly. And, you know, I know that that's more recent probably since you and I have been friends and stuff, but you've been in the business for a very, very long time. That's all you pretty much have done since basically high school.
Yep.
So you're always kind of searching for that next thing. To get you, not that you wanted to always leave the business, but you were looking for that next thing that was going to light that fire for you. And you're like, you were talking about the cannabis business, and you like trading, and you're into other things. You know, you've got rental properties, you got Airbnbs.
Very accurate.
Yeah,
very accurate.
Love toys. Kent's, what did we say? Kent is the king of having cool stuff.
Thank you. Right.
So I think one of the things we want to talk about today really is, you know, why do you keep coming back in, and what's pushing you out of like what's causing all the frustration and you know, I wouldn't say drama because it's never really drama, but we all deal with some stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it depends on how deep you want to go with that, but so let's talk a little bit about, before we get into like why you're kind of dipping in and out, let's talk about, okay, I'm going to do this for you because I don't really want you to have to go through this big old long thing. So he went to Mesa Westwood. Well, he went to Westwood in high school, so you grew up in Mesa. Then you're Mormon. You were, whatever it is.
I did not know that.
Yep. So you went on your mission, which was like Santa Barbara or something.
I was Santa Cruz.
Right. So it was one of those, so you didn't like go and like learn new language and all this stuff.
I was in California.
But we had a guy on here last week that was also a Mormon from Utah, and he talked a little bit about his mission and how much he learned and how much you learn by just going out that door-to-door sales sort of thing. So that obviously builds that skill set for you guys.
Oh yeah.
So then you come back, you meet a girl. She has a kid. You decide to get married very young. Can I say you got her pregnant?
Got her pregnant again.
Got her pregnant?
Pretty much on the honeymoon.
Okay.
I mean, it was instant.
All right.
On the honeymoon.
So I just did the whole like timeline for it, so you don't have to go into your like childhood and everything.
Killer.
But let's just start from when you met Hannah, came back here from your mission, and then the business, and let's roll into that.
So like you mentioned, with the mission, even though it was killer, it was 2 years of service, and learned a lot of the principles that have carried on to what we're doing today. So yeah, a lot of positives from that. So got back, like you said, met a girl, and decided to get married pretty quick after dating her for probably a year and a half, 2 years. And so got married, and then, you know, when you get married and you have a kid and you become an instant father. And so basically I decided at that point, like, all right, I'm going to sign up for responsibility. I got to provide, and hoping that I could put it together. At that point too, I really didn't have a job. I just made money in order to go to the lake every day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
a little unprepared going into it, but obviously met a killer girl, and I knew she'd be a great mom based on how she was, and she's been a mom since she was 18 years old. So
Yeah.
pretty
Awesome
killer. And so got to that point, I worked for Hewlett Packard, and was at inside sales, did pretty well there. There's an opportunity to make a living there. Long story short, that department was moving to Colorado. So moving their whole office. So it's either transfer into a different department or move to Colorado.
How old were you?
At this time I was probably 24.
Okay.
Married about a year or two at that point. So now we're 2 kids, 2 girls, and so getting through that whole point, I decided, I had a few people that came to me and said, like, listen, you should get into the mortgage business. And I'm like, so I started doing some research and decided to take the compensation package of leaving. And then at that point, I did some interviews. And at that time, most of the people, when you went into interviews, they would just say, here's a phone book, and start hammering, and a desk over there. So found a company that would actually do like 2 weeks of training. And the company name was called Cactus Cash, of all companies. Not the greatest
Super
name.
reputable name.
Right. Not the greatest name. So, but appealing. It was on 32nd Street in Camelback. Nice
Right.
office, willing to train, and then get into like a lead gen. So worked there for 2 years, and then landed actually a good opportunity. So I started working for a community bank called Mesa Bank. I'm from Mesa, had a lot of good contacts, got the interview, and this time I'm 2 years in the business. I don't know everything, but I was starting to build a little bit of a network. People knew I was in the business, all that good stuff. So worked for the bank. At that point, they're like, hey, we're going to give you your own P&L. You need to learn what takeout loans, construction loans. I'm like, yeah, I know all that stuff. Never seen a P&L in my life. And
Right.
so let's say I sold my way through the interview, but and then at that time I was there for 5 years, and grow through the department, scaled it out, and then at that point, obviously learned a lot. So banking systems, how the bank works, how the money goes in and out. Some pretty cool back end stuff that, like I said, a learning experience, and how to manage a P&L, manage your expenses, all that stuff. So shot me off for 5 years, and that's when I had game plan with Mesa Bank president on the scaling out. What's our direction going? How do we see this going? 1 week later, he comes into the office and says, we're done. I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. Are we done today?
Was this a depository bank, or was it
Yeah,
it was a depository bank? Okay.
Yeah. And there ended up being 3 little locations that.
So they were done with just mortgages?
This is the crash. At this point, this is where the crash took place. And so he comes into the office and says, we're done. Like, that's when
Right.
all the funding, like we've heard,
Right.
got cut off. And then that led me to Academy. One of the things about Academy is, they were still somehow funding loans.
Right.
I had competed with 2 of the leaders in there. They were doing some successful stuff. And then at that point, it was crazy, because that's where, like, a lot of people that I know today and that I'm with today, we all kind of experienced guys went there. And so was there at Academy 2 years, learned a lot of cool stuff. They were great at business development and putting some tools in your hand. And then at that point,
at that point, not sorry to cut you off, but they were like kind of the
They were the spot.
That was kind of the cool place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that were
still good
seasoned.
company, but like a lot of people kind of moved on different directions and stuff at this point.
Yeah, and they were majority of them were seasoned, running good books of business at that point. So that was killer. But like I said, I was there for 2 years, and like the majority of people that are with me today were either I recruited to Academy or I just met them at Academy and became killer friends. One being Mike Jones, Jay Ray.
Right. I think that's a good thing you just brought that up. I should have said at the beginning, because I think one of the things we want to talk about today is your relationship with Mike and Jay Ray, right? Because your branch really functions because of the three of you. Yep. And we'll get into that in a bit. But Mike Jones is a huge part of your life and a huge part of our company, to be honest with you. So. And we'll get into that. So keep going.
So then I go to me and Mike decide to start our own thing, and then we ended up joining PRMI based out of Utah. Great company again. Same thing. They let us scale to what we were trying to accomplish. So at this point, we're designing our whole business plan, our how we're going to create our office, what we're going to live by, all this stuff that we put together. And so it was
Were you branch managers at this point though? Or were you guys both just LOs?
We were just LOs.
Okay.
And then at that point, we had talked to a majority of the people that we brought over. It was literally like a Jerry Maguire thing. Like, all right, guys, who's going with me?
Right.
And there was 7 of us that walked out that day. And that's where Rochelle came from.
Right.
That's where, obviously, Mike and Jay and everybody. So 7 people follow us, and then we just joined PRMI. PRMI let us scale to what we wanted to accomplish, like our operations, controlling what we're good at, and scaled out to probably 15 to 20, and then we were there 6 years. So we've gone through the ups and downs. We've had 20 people in our office, and we've got up to like 75 people in our office, or 60 people, let's say, and when we're at PRMI. Great company. We decide that's where our relationship starts. We meet on a snowboard trip, me and you.
Yep.
You follow up with me to have lunch. We connect.
You followed up with me to have lunch.
Did I?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Really?
Yep. You reached
right.
out to me to go meet at the Thirsty Line in Tempe.
What we were looking at that point? Like we at least were striking we were interested.
And I think
in,
you were trying to recruit me, to be honest with you. And then
I think that could be it too.
and I did the old flipper.
You switched the tables.
But again, that was because I just wasn't really going to go anywhere. And so I was like, that's cool, but if you want to talk to Jay, and then
come check it out.
Come check it out. That's it.
And so, which a lot of things we can get into that why.
Well, you know what's kind of cool, because we're kind of in this whole process right now of like in the story where we met in this building, me, you, Jay, and Mike, and this building wasn't done yet.
No.
The only room that was done was
the front conference
room.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And we sat in there and we drank whiskey, and we just like broke bread.
Yeah.
And
so being the owner and being you, that was what was important to us. Like, let's just go drink some whiskey, talk about, let's be honest with each other, and then obviously we want to meet Jay and what type of person he is.
Yeah.
So we had not met at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
First intro.
That was cool.
So obviously, I could go into why at some point. So we've been here 5 years, and getting into the why as far as meeting you, and typically we're drawn to people that live the same, the same core, I should call it, as far as good values, good person, good heart. Like you brought us in, we met the people, and then we wanted to be local. So everything was lining up saying, all right, VIP gives us the framework of how we operate based on we have operations. We control, we've been fortunate enough to scale out to our operation. VIP gave us the framework and said, as long as you stay with this framework, here's what you can do. And that fit everything we wanted. Local, good people, and let us run how we've been running at PRMI. So easy transition and quality of people who we felt way more connected to.
Did most of the people come over with you? I mean, did you?
Yeah, we had all 50 of them come.
All 50, wow.
Actually, we lost 2. They
branch
stayed at PRMI.
Still around 50 people?
We're up to 75 now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
the PRMI situation, one of the reasons why you guys did come here, like you liked it there. It wasn't like you guys didn't like it there. I remember that it was you guys loved the people there. It was them being in Utah, it was a little bit more difficult. So you say being local, that was one of the benefits, right? Because you're like, we need more control running our entire operation,
Right.
from the underwriters, processors, and further and further and further on. As you guys are getting, like we talked earlier, here, you almost have basically your own company within the company at this point. But that was a big thing, and like I always like to say that because sometimes I won't say that, but like we're not trying to bash the other companies because that's a really great company, right?
No.
We still have friends that are there and that do really well and they love it.
You know, it's been one of the models that said, I'm never going to talk bad about a company.
Yeah,
They
no.
gave me opportunity and
Totally.
we just change ways.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
And then so, but it all kind of worked out for, we kind of fit like or checked all the boxes that, you guys wanted. But, so.
And then I met Stu.
Yeah.
Stu was like the deal sealer.
Was he?
Yeah. No, well, just like you said, Stu kills it in the game, but
Yeah.
he's not like that guy that's in front of everybody.
Right.
Got a solid book of business, and he's a good dude. And
Yeah.
He slays it. And
People underestimate Stu.
Oh yeah, I
'cause-
didn't know about him.
Yeah.
I heard his name, but I've
Yeah.
never met him. He's
Yeah.
not like all the other functions I've been to and met.
Right.
Every other company, solid.
He's
LO.
never been to a function. Like,
Yeah, his
I do not
podcast
doubt it.
episode was called Urban Legend.
yeah, the urban legend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I listened to that one.
Yeah.
because he.
Because
Yeah.
nobody knows who he is.
He
But
doesn't have Facebook.
They hear he doesn't have
I
Facebook.
know.
But when we do those VIP days, when we do have somebody that's interested,
For sure.
he definitely murders it in those
Yeah.
because he just comes and like talks like as like a real like mortgage banker.
He's an operator.
And he's like, this
right?
is what I do. This is how I do it. And then they go, oh, geez, because pretty much nobody does it as good, right?
No.
So they're like, wow, okay, these systems are insane.
And I would say the technology of how you guys, what
The
platform,
spear and
the
all that
Spear,
sort of
yeah.
stuff. And we were, and it's gotten way better since you
Oh,
guys have
yeah.
gotten here, right? There's a lot of things, the kinks and stuff we had to
Oh,
work
yeah.
out.
But yeah.
So let's talk about the branch though, because this is one of the things that, like I said, I should have said at the beginning, along with the other stuff. But you kind of come in and out of the business. But one of the things that obviously I know what keeps you around is so from a reputation standpoint. For Trish, you probably don't know this, but they probably have the best reputation for a branch within a company in Maricopa County.
Appreciate
Like
it.
in what way? I mean,
We'll get. I'll just.
okay.
We'll get into
'Cause,
that.
Yeah, Ryan's always
Well, I just-
talking about
it's-
how
it's
amazing Tempe
good.
is.
Well,
Always
I think
good?
everybody does it because they
Yeah.
run their own company within VIP, and him and Mike have done a really good job. And you guys didn't need J Ray. You wanted J Ray,
Right.
There's a
Oh, yeah.
difference. I saw this thing on the TNT on the NBA on TNT when they when it was just Ernie and Charles and the Jet.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And when Shaq retired, they talked really heavily about why would they bring Shaq onto this thing. Everybody's like, why would you do this? Why would you ruin? They were they were winning all the Emmys and everything.
Oh yeah.
And the producers like, well, we went to Shaq and said, we don't need you. We want you though. And if it's about money, you should go to ESPN. And really, because we're not gonna pay you as much. But if you want to go with the very best company, the very best show, the funnest show,
Oh, they were hilarious.
come
yeah.
here,
They were
right?
doing something different. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So he's like, I just want to come with you guys, and I want to do that, right? Well, that's very similar with J Ray, right?
Yeah,
You two
yeah.
are just really good friends.
He was in Mike's wedding, so Mike's
Yeah.
known him since a kid too, which is. And
Did
I
Mike
met
got him in the
10 years.
business, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Because they
yes.
he was doing CrossFit, or no, that was, anyways. I think he got him in the business, but anyways, yeah, they've known each other for a long time, and they were good buddies. And he was at another company, and I kind of, you guys had always left that door open for like basically ownership in the branch
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
But so
And I met Jay at Academy. So
yeah. So Jay was
10
there with
years,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't like in your core crew. Like he went to a different company when you guys went to PRMI.
Yeah. He joined us at PRMI, then he actually had left to go run his own branch at Peoples. Did
Yeah.
well there, and then same thing.
Another great company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how did you guys get him to? Before we get into like why the branch is so great, but how did you guys get Jay Ray to like finally decide? Okay, fine, I'm gonna come over and join you guys.
One, we like some of the obviously those that know Jay's hilarious, great personality, always had a good reputation, and we're connected to him. So knowing that, we wanted an additional manager, or I would say owner
Yeah.
within our company. One, just for how we were scaling. Two, we wanted to shake it up a little bit, and like I said, we trusted him, and one of our things that we've always talked about is you surround yourself with people you trust.
Right.
And he was always one of those guys that say, all right, we brought him on. I want to say it's about 4 or 5 years ago. Gave him obviously a piece of our side, and he's awesome. I mean, he brings, when we talk about culture, he's definitely a guy that brings
it strong.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he might be the most well-liked person at VIP.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah.
Like everybody loves Jerry. He doesn't ruffle any feathers. But I think none of you really do, right? So you guys are non-drama people.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of run your own space, and you have your own people over there, and you hire really well. Like VIP, there's a lot of family. So let's talk a little bit about like who you guys got working over there with you guys, and what you guys do to keep it a great place that people want to come. You don't have anybody quit. Nobody really leaves.
No, we've been fortunate.
Your retention's incredible. So there's a reason for that. Let's talk about that.
So yeah, going back, I guess when we started, one of the things we've always said is we want to treat people as like you want to be treated. Meaning, if you are an employee, how would you want the management team to react? How would you want them to treat you? And make decisions that way. So it's not always about the bigger picture. So that was one principle we live by. Second one is we want to provide opportunity. If you're willing to stick with us, commit to us, I promise you we'll provide opportunity. And then last is we just said we're going to provide a culture of family. That was important to us. We learned some other things. We saw when companies or branches got too big, they just lost their what was appealing to them initially. Right. So those are the three things, which when you live by those three things, that creates obviously retention. That lets you create a career path for people. That, like you said, if I'm going to give you opportunity, if you come in here and do your job and you contribute to the office. So we've had 5 people that have been our receptionists actually move up to office manager. They're our doctor, they're our PCR. I mean, they're vital roles in the operation of the business. Yeah. So opportunity's been exciting to see people move into those positions. And then we just got a good group of LOs, and we pride ourselves with hiring people that meet those qualities.
Right. So let's talk about them for a second. So you got Mike's brother.
Yep.
Works for him, Chris. You've got
Stud.
Chad's daughter.
That's
now working, doing some she doing some.
She just
QC
moved onto
stuff?
our team.
Okay, she's on your team.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got Jay Ray's daughter.
Got Jay Ray's daughter.
So she's doing she wants to be an LO, right?
Yep. So she's just kind of learning the path and managing database.
Okay. So Sierra, she came on because Rochelle, right?
She was our first office manager. She was one of the 7 that followed.
Right. So Rochelle's niece is Sierra.
Correct.
And now Sierra is the office manager.
Correct.
Okay. Then you have Chad, because we call Chad family. Mm-hmm. Chad's your boy from high school. Mm-hmm. So he's your ILO on your team, and now his daughter is working technically for him now.
Correct. Underneath him, just doing back end up.
You got the Rojas's, so you got the husband and wife team.
Yep, husband and wife there.
Yep. Who am I leaving out?
We have Payne and Bart. They've been friends since high school.
Yep. That's the hat, Payne and Bart. So Aaron Payne brought his buddy in from high school.
I should say Payne and Walker team.
Payne and Walker. Bart Walker.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they just kind of joined forces in the last couple months, really. But Aaron's brought him on. That's such a good logo.
I know.
Yeah.
Such a
they did a good job. They got good style.
I love their brand. And then the apparel that they chose. Those hats are sweet.
Yeah.
And then
they're like $75 a hat.
Yeah. They got some
I got it free.
stuff.
I'm like, that's good. Yeah, it's pricey. My brother is actually dating a processor, Robin, in our office. She's been with me, and she's one of the followers. Been with me for 10 years.
And your other brother is your CFO, basically, of your office.
We hired him as a CFO as we started.
And that was 3 years now?
He was at the very end of PRMI, so he's been with us the whole time at VIP.
Kirk has?
Yeah.
Damn, so it's been that long.
Mm-hmm. Ryan has said that Kirk is one of the best hires in the history of VIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, best hire for our office. He brought in a lot of tools that me and Mike and Jay were good at, but he's
a
5 times better. Yes.
Right.
He's measurements, KPIs, production, anything that you want to scale out in a data management piece. he'll nail it on the head. So
and he helps out
corporate
a lot as well. So he not only works for your branch, but he helps out with the the corporate
scaling
stuff
out
as well.
systems and reporting.
Compensation, commissions,
P&Ls.
The whole everything.
So yeah, got ingrained, and he obviously loves it. He came from traveling the world at those online schools and getting into correcting them and obviously putting the right measurements. So he was done traveling, has 4 girls, and it's been great. I mean, I have my brother there as killer, so he is. I don't have to worry.
Does he get mad at people?
Nope.
Ever? Okay.
Nope.
Super nice guy. He's like Mike Metz.
Oh yeah. He does
Steven
not.
Metz.
I've never seen him even get fired up.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, he is just steady Eddie.
And you never have to worry about if the job gets done, literally. So.
Is he older or younger?
He's my oldest brother. So
you have 5 brothers?
5 brothers.
Yeah.
And 1 sister.
They have a lot of kids in Mesa.
They got 30 nieces and nephews on each side.
On each side.
Cow.
Well, because his wife
25 to 30.
His wife's a Germain.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Mountain
road Germain.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
like
she's got a
Chandler, Gilbert.
East Valley.
They're big. Yeah.
No, they've been around.
They've been around for a while, and they've got a big family there too. So he's still married to this girl he married when he was 23.
Yeah, one of the things I
20
love
years.
about your social media is family is clearly at the center of everything you do. Like you guys always look like you're having a blast.
We always know. I mean, we do treat like people like family. Leilani, that's been on my team she was my first, scale of adding a team member. She's been with me for 11 years, and we're family. We treated each other like family, and she believed in me from day one. So,
I mean, the environment at the office is it's obviously it's business, but it's very chill. It's always fun. I mean, it's not. If you want to have a good place to go, and that would be the place I think even though people were home a lot during COVID, that would be an office where you would find people working, where people might go just because they want to escape and go hang out.
Yeah.
But
we did some killer things during, Family Feud, Pac-Man tournament. We've had 2 talent shows. I mean, it's we try to make it fun, and it's family, and it's crazy how many people participate. It's fun. It's actually killer to see it.
We did a NASCAR themed contest with Big Wheels here
for Phoenix Children's
Hospital to raise money. His branch, they showed up in a Winnebago. Was it like an RV?
An RV.
The whole branch, dressed up in NASCAR suits.
Jay Ray's idea.
They just came floating in. Like everybody's waiting. We're all outside ready for this race, and they just come floating in the Tempe branch, and all just decked out like they're,
And we found the biggest trailer possible to put 2 tricycles.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So
it's big, huge, and it was just literally 2 tricycles on it. Like it was set up like they were like
You're taking
NASCAR.
it serious,
They took it
actually.
serious. But those are the type of things that get people that people love, and they like being there. And you guys are all about the swag and the clothes and the hats and all the cool stuff. And I think that as little as that is to some people love it.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you guys have sparked a whole interest with corporate doing cooler things and doing nicer stuff.
Oh, yeah, I have FOMO when I look at your stories. It's just hilarious what you guys are doing over there.
It's a good opportunity,
great.
I think, for people to learn from. And I know that we try to do some stuff that you guys do, and I think as we're building out our branch, that's kind of the model that we're trying to get to. You have full control, like you guys do. That's a big thing. And I mean, you guys are down to the point where you're basically doing everything but, funding.
Yeah, we just don't push the actual button to send the buyer.
But you do everything from, down to processing, underwriting, QC, PCR, closing, shipping.
We just don't do shipping.
You don't do funding and shipping.
We don't do
that's
shipping.
basically it. But you take it all the way down to the end. And
we get to manage the
done.
process. And one of the things that we've always talked about, we're good at what we control, because me, Jay, and Mike bring different things to the table. And obviously having Kirk manager, CFO, then our office manager, Sierra's money, her personality's killer.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 sales managers that all of them get to play the upside. We've always coached, if we're winning, everybody's winning, and everybody gets to participate if you're bringing value. Because our job at the end of the day for our LOs is bringing value and bringing a culture where they want to be. And if you can hit those 2 buttons, typically you're going to have good retention.
Right.
And
so
How
you've
does
been
marketing? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ryan. So what about marketing? Do you have an internal marketing person, or
We've
do
gone
you
through
use
a few.
everything with?
Maybe
okay.
that's been of our biggest struggles on hiring. Like I said,
Well,
we're trying to
you're-
recruit Ryan at one point.
You're talking business development. You're talking
Oh,
marketing.
I'm talking
marketing?
actual marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sierra actually handles a lot of the marketing, and then most of the teams just kind of do their own thing on their own marketing. Like Brooklyn does our marketing now. That was part of us adding another layer to ours. So I would say Sierra, and then other marketing. Our marketing department's come a long way since being here 4 to 5 years. Like
Yeah.
from where it was to it is now. They bring
Yeah.
a lot of tools and resources. They've scaled the department well, and so we lean on them, or just internally. But no real one person does it all.
Is Sherry your marketing rep? Sherry Booth?
Yeah, Sherry
Tempe?
Booth. Yep,
Okay.
Sherry, and they do a killer
Yeah,
job.
she's
Carol
amazing.
and Sherry do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come a long ways. That's
Let's
that's
say
probably the biggest jump we've made at this company
I do think that, and
since you guys have been here.
they're proactive instead of reactive. That's
Totally.
a huge thing for LOs. Just be in front of them, and you'll keep striking. Don't wait for the LO to ask, because
So let's talk about Tisdale then and Aaron, because you've given those guys 2 opportunities. You're talking about giving opportunities for people to grow. Both those guys, I mean, Tisdale's an incredible LO, does everything on his own, does really well every year, top 1% every year, always President's Club, lives a great life. And,
committed,
he's
loyal,
and,
just
yeah,
good
and
personality, right?
yeah, and he's another even keel, great guy, and very good at his job. And so you guys gave him the opportunity to kind of be, get involved on the money side too, right? Because at the end of the day, money is a big factor. He makes
Right.
great money, but you guys bring him in and do a little bit of management, and
Right.
now he gets a piece of the pie from the branch.
For sure. So his job's to lead, field calls, field the challenges that have come through. At the same time, when we were growing at a rapid pace, it was hard for me, Mike, and Jay to keep running our business, because our agreement was always, you got to do X amount of volume in order to sustain keeping our office open. So me,
Right.
Mike, and Jay, we've always been that. We've added, obviously, Tisdale was a huge part of that too, and he's, like I said, he's a loyal guy. He's only been at I think one other company, and he fit everything we did. Actually, PRMI offered him a good
I remember
money
that.
to stay, and
Yep.
he followed us, and so that was huge to us. And that was like one of the first things we said, okay, let him. We're not going to give him upfront money, but obviously we want him to contribute because he's been a huge influence in our office. Then Aaron Payne came over. Me and Mike had actually met him at a charity event for an agent. Obviously hit it off, having a good time, and then Payne joined us, and one of the things, Payne brought a group over, and the killer thing about him is obviously he's extremely well at coaching. I don't know if I actually listened to that one too. He's been in volleyball forever. He coach, his kids are young, and he's coaching these kids that are going to
17, 18-year-olds,
USA and
yeah.
competing and
Yeah,
getting full
they're-
rides at
yeah.
D1s, and does a good job, and he's good at it. So we agreed to, hey, we'll give you the upside, but what we want you to do is bring in your systematic coaching, help us continue to add value. At the same time, the people that you want, because he was going to come in and run his own P&L under our system, and the management piece of that said, let us do the heavy lifting, because we have, the office manager, Kirk, the underwriting, we get to manage the service side of it. You just bring your coaching, and with that, as we're growing and developing our LOs, we play in that upside. So it's not always us, and we've been able to share after building it out. And that was, again, opportunity is all we preach. Is you tell us the career path where we want to, we'll lead you down the career path.
Right.
And
All right, so before we get into some of the other stuff that I want to talk
so
about,
our sales managers, so they both do a tremendous job.
they're
And-
both good, and
Yeah.
and you guys create an opportunity for yourselves to kind of pull away a little bit more.
There's the
And-
burn. Just kidding.
That's the truth, though. So you provide these opportunities for these guys to do, but it's beneficial to you
Oh, for
and to
sure.
Mike and to Jay, right? So you get to spend more time doing things you want to do, and leading from afar, not afar, from up top, right? So
Sure.
you're the CEOs, however you guys want to categorize yourselves.
Right.
But so let's talk about why you go through these like seasonal. We all go through seasons, right? Jack loves talking about seasons, right? It's true though.
I say windows, windows.
Yeah. So you go through these times where you're just like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I think it's normal. You're just very vocal about it.
Oh, if you ask anyone,
Yeah.
they've contemplated
Oh,
it.
yeah. I mean, I've been in the business for 8 years, and I've done it enough. And I know Stu's done it, Bates done it. I mean, Mike's done it,
Right.
Jay Ray's done it. But
There's something
I think
that keeps
because you and I
There's something
are
that keeps you, right?
yeah, there's something that keeps you around, and because you and I are closer, I know because I'm there for all that stuff. So let's talk a little bit about why that happens. You think to people in this business?
You know, a lot of it, like I said, the small principle is the passion. So the good thing is I had 15 years I was really passionate about it. I obviously had to start working at a young age.
Yeah.
And I was committed and I didn't do anything else. While all my friends and some of my other, they're partying, they're living a life that I'm like, oh, that looks cool. But at the same time.
Right, well, you didn't even get to go to, you didn't get to, but you didn't really you didn't have the college experience.
Oh, yeah, straight out of high school.
Yeah,
like,
straight
we're
out of high
rolling,
school.
we're
Right.
rolling.
Yep.
So, like I said, growing up quick and seeing that, I was working. And so that 15 years of just grinding, obviously doing transactions, being involved, scaling, trying to run a company that we've always dreamed about doing. And like I said, providing opportunities always been, and seeing people succeed in your system and change their lives is rewarding. So at that point, running 15, I was just done with dealing with realtors, trying to business development.
Just going to events and just tired, right?
I'm burnt. And my wife's burnt.
Yeah.
And then, so then in my burnout, it was a while from, again, scaling out has helped provide where if I was to just kind of burn out and I was responsible, it would have had a lot, probably a different recourse to it. So having the people in place is priceless. And then when I was, like I said, burnt out, I had started scaling to have Chad take over the business at that time too, which was huge. And so just putting a business plan in play, I've always been like, all right, I'm forecasting, I'm looking forward a lot and put those motions in play. And then once I was there and I had more time, and at that point I was just burnt. Like I didn't want to answer to anybody. I didn't want the responsibility of people's, livelihoods, the up and down of emotions. I mean, just everything. Challenging. So I just wasn't like committed, I would say, and engaged in all the things that probably were important. Like, we get to be on the board and we have a say in the company. I wasn't even, I was like, I don't know. Not right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So going through that piece, and then the thing that gets me driving again, honestly, is like I just mentioned, is seeing people succeed in our office. And so I really had to redefine, other than making the money on our production and growing a business, I want to see Chad take over and change his life. He's gonna make big strides. Leilani is, and I've always said that, just believe in me and I'll promise I'll take care of you. I promise you'll see it. Yeah. And then from that, and that time, it was just, all right, I got to find a new passion technically. And that was double, like, okay, passion being I want people to grow, want people to change their life based on income and being a part of where you want to go to work. I mean, just your whole mental capacity of like what a job does to you, and then create a family. And so that was back to like redriving that moment, and that's what keeps me back in the business. Honestly, that's what keeps me. And then, like you said, I don't want to disappoint my partners. I signed up for a gig, and I'm gonna finish it when we all say we finish it.
I think that having the right people around you is such an important thing, because I mean, I've seen these conversations happen here even. It's like, and you got good partners, and the partners can be like, we get it, dude, just like you're just, we're here if you need us. Like, go do your thing, go figure yourself out, and go and go do what you need to do, because we're here, we got it. Because we're all going to do this. We're all going to need somebody to kind of come in and step in and help out. And
And like you'd mentioned, I started exploring, like, I'm going to keep my toe over here, my foot in here, but I want to give someone else the responsibility. I'll keep the overwatch, but literally I want to devote half my time to doing X right now. And
you need something to light your fire or light the fire, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And get you going, get you out of bed. And not that wasn't coming. And it didn't, COVID doesn't help. Didn't help. I mean,
I was already, like, I would say within 6 months prior to that, 8 months, I was going through that. And then COVID obviously didn't help. But just the stress. But that was at the same time, like, all right, you need to game on again. Like, get back to what you were good at, get back to your drive, get back to your passion, all those things that make you good.
I think that some good advice for people out there, to be honest with you, with this scenario, and I think it, every time flies, right? And so we might go 3 months sometimes without like hanging out, like and getting together with like our friends. The whole reason why we all came kind of together here is because our friends are here, right? Great company. The friends own the company.
People you respect.
We all own the company. People we we want to hang out with outside the company.
For sure.
If you can work at a place where people you enjoy being around, I mean, there's no other better way to do it because you got to go to work. You have to work. So why not do it with people you really like? And I mean, so we get away from that sometimes, and we go, dude, why are we waiting so long? Like because when we do, we're like, this is the best thing ever, right? Like, what are we doing? And it's super important for us to do. Yeah, you say something?
I didn't, but I would love to ask a rapid fire question. We haven't
good time for that.
I'm giving a rapid answer. So
All right.
fire. I'm gonna hope to
That's
fire
good.
the best answer.
All right, this is one I don't think we've ever asked it, Ryan. If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Dude,
Sorry, that's kind of a zinger.
Devin Booker.
Good
Right
answer.
now. Right now.
Very timely. Even
Same.
With the broken nose, huh?
A day and a night.
As long as I played like him too. Like, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. After the last game, it's like one of those scenarios.
Okay, we're in a big game tonight.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another
Yeah.
one.
Killer.
What's your guilty pleasure?
I know you
drinking.
No, that's not guilty.
No, that's not guilty. Right.
It's one of
I
those
feel
dumb
guilty
shows
in the
you
morning.
watch.
I
if
feel
you're
guilty in the
Mormon.
morning.
It's one of those shows you watch.
Yeah. Shit. That's a tough one, actually. Never thought of it.
I'll throw another one.
Throw
at
me
you.
an
You
rip
can say
one.
pass.
Pass,
on that one.
actually.
What lights you up? Like what motivates you? What gives you joy?
Well, the business has provided everything I've ever wanted out of, like, you call it the American dream. It's provided that for me. So what gets me up is being able to share, like, I've been fortunate, like Ryan said, I'm fortunate to have stuff, and I get to share it with my family, share it with my friends, and that gets me going. That's what I enjoy seeing.
Good answer.
That's a good one, and it's true. He has this truck that he's been working on for years. Finally gets it.
There.
What is it? It's like a 73,
It's a 69 C10. Yeah.
A GMC C10. It's so sick. It's lowered. It's got hydraulics. It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's got like baseball quilted leather seats.
Wow.
It's so badass. But he's like, hey man, if you ever want the truck, if you want to borrow the truck, dude, let me know.
Just take it.
Just take it. It's like
It's just stuff, right?
Right, it's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
You can replace it.
Yeah.
You can always go make more money if you want to go work harder.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just stuff.
Well, it's funny because even like getting back to the stuff, like you bought that house over there in Circle G. That was like 2 acres. You had a little farm over there. He'd have like pigs and chickens and stuff, and he'd sit out there and in this badass house that you built, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm selling my side by side. I'm selling my house. I'm selling my truck. I'm moving into Morrison Ranch, like track home, and we're like, why? And you're like, it's just too much stuff.
Well, I think that's a good point. Thanks for reminding me, because when I bought that property, it was a tough project, and that goes back to like my anxiety of keeping up, and like I felt from work and doing that, plus I'd get home and it was I thought I wanted property, and we downsized the square footage, but I wanted property. But on a property like that, and if you want to keep the values up, which I'm obviously I follow, it's a lot of work, and it's stressful, and it's time consuming. It's away from your family. Like, I was always out there, and so that led to a lot of the burn too. Like, I'm exhausted, and
That also led to like fighting with your wife.
oh yeah, like it was never in a good mood, feeling overwhelmed. Like definitely part of the burn, and then realized like, all right, that's not everything it's cracked up to be. I'm still very involved with a bunch of things, and then said, let's move. So like I said, bought a house that was 1/3 of that house.
But you bought it in your neighborhood, with all your brothers.
Yeah, that's a good
Right?
point.
So you moved into
Some people it's crazy.
So you moved into the neighborhood so you got rid of all the stuff and you moved into a smaller, nice house. It's a very nice house in a neighborhood, but where you're closer to your family.
Yeah.
And, and
My
then
4 brothers live in there.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And we're within a street of one another. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we grew up 2 lots over from our cousin. So
Okay.
our mother's brother. So
Yeah.
it was like a
Priceless
compound
memories
kind of.
and
Yeah.
relationships built from
For
it.
sure. I mean, he's still one of our biggest referral partners. He's a
Right.
financial
Killer.
advisor. Shout out to Robert Young.
There you go.
But yeah, no, that was super fun, and I think that's one of the things that my kids maybe missed out on.
And then, like, talking about partners in the business. I mean, obviously, I'm family oriented. Mike's has always been a family oriented, very involved, and Jay Ray is obviously a stud with his family, and that carries over to how you operate too, and how you treat people. And so, like
Yeah, I mean, very all good dads, very involved.
Families.
Mike's kids are killing it. Jay Ray's son's going to play football at CSU next year. And
Yep.
Mike's kids are dancing at ASU.
Yep.
But
Really.
just very like that's their passion. Their drive. Back to Jeff Tisdale. Jeff Tisdale's got his house in Sedona. He's been working
I
on.
love watching his
And going through the same
progression.
thing.
Yeah.
He's getting to the empty nester, sold his house, a nice custom home, and moving just to a more easy, like affordable. So, not more, whatever. I don't know if it's affordable or not, but
Yeah.
basically he wants to spend more time between
Sedona,
operating. Yeah.
But I think that Jeff's got a really good perspective because, I mean, he's one of those guys that has to stay busy at all times.
Oh yeah.
So
Most organized, detailed,
most
person
organized
I know.
ever. And but he spends his money on doing things like
He's a vacation.
he's a traveling nut, and
He enjoys what he does.
it's not like he's buying stuff. He makes his own
Oh,
stuff,
right.
but he goes out and does all that stuff. So, so I guess I think one of the things that I think was most important, I think, and people at VIP are going to watch this too, and I think they're all going to probably agree with me on the fact that, the culture side of things is huge for you guys, and it's something that we're all aspiring to do. And I think other people from other companies that watch this, it's okay to reach out to Kent
Oh yeah.
and Mike and Jay Ray and myself or whatever to just kind of like, because we're an open book. We've always said that, like,
Right.
From systems and processes, we've always talked about that. You guys are the same way when it comes to the same stuff, plus culture and all that. So I think a lot of people want to do the things that we may do to make it successful, but they just don't do it. So it's putting the action in play,
sure.
which doesn't happen. But it's also just, you just can't do it. People just can't have this. All the stars align kind of with you guys in that place, and you guys have done a really good job of hiring people and keeping everybody there, but making everybody happy, which is causing you guys to make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, we're not doing this for free. We're doing this because we want to make money and we want to make everybody else successful and happy. And
Which
I
is, sorry, I need to put like a little
you are.
flag.
You've been interrupting way more today than you ever have.
Keep firing.
I apologize.
No.
So to piggyback on what Ryan just said, one of the things that Aaron's the only one over there that I feel like I know. Like, I'm a huge fan of Aaron. He's been great from the very first week I started here. But you guys seem to be very Jay Barber-like in like your kind of like ethos of the branch, right? Which is probably a big part of why you came over. Do you have to be funny to be a part of your branch? I mean, that was like one of the questions I had written down, because every single person who I follow on social seems to be hilarious. I mean, is that like a core?
I don't think Mike Jones is
culture?
considered funny. I think
so-
I think Mike Jones is considered fun.
He's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll never not
Very
have a good time
fun.
with Mikey.
Yeah, I've not met him. I don't know if we follow him.
But Aaron and Jay
Aaron
Ray.
is hilarious. I met Jay Ray. He came by one day with his daughter, like
Yeah.
several months back when nobody was working, and he was looking for Ryan.
Yeah.
And we met, and he was just like the coolest, nicest guy ever, and his daughter was doing an amazing job, but he just cracked me up the whole time. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
You
it
know,
was like almost like he was like performing, but in a super sincere way. I mean, it wasn't really.
He
like,
is the most sarcastic.
oh yeah,
He's just
you got to get his
hilarious.
humor.
His
and once you
personality
do,
and humorous.
he'll roll.
Well, one of his big things is fun. He always talks about is when this is back when I used to wear tons of dress clothes. Like,
Yeah.
I was dressed up every day, and I had like the custom shirts and the monogrammed cuffs and stuff, and that was like a huge turnoff to him because he was like, he's like, oh, we're
who's
going
this
over to
guy?"
these guys. Like that guy's a douche, right?
'Cause that's
And then he loves to tell a story because then when he does hang out with us, we hung out with us the very first time. He's like, oh, I judged before I knew.
my bad.
Like I'm not like it's okay.
Right.
Not everybody's as they seem. But yeah, because he is just a chill dude. He's a shorts, t-shirt,
Oh yeah,
and custom Vans guy.
he's managed a good quality balance of work and life and being good. Yeah, he does a good job.
So one last thing before I wrap, I think this is important because I do think this is one of the ones I really want the people at VIP to watch, and I want us to be sending it to everybody here because I think it's important to talk about. One of the benefits that you guys do bring to this company too is the relationships that you have with everybody else in the company outside of your branch, right? So the operation side of things, like you guys don't ruffle feathers like a lot of other people do. You guys do, but not like a lot of other people do. And I think it's very important that people like to work with you guys. So when you provide that same sort of energy to not just the people in your branch, but to the whole entire company or your referral partners, everybody you work with, it makes it very easy for people to want to work with you and help you out in scenarios when you need to be helped, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And so when you're advice to everybody out there listening, when you're a jerk to your operations, that's not good.
No, never
They're not going to be there for you.
Nope.
So I think that's a huge thing that people love, and having Jay Ray being kind of controlling that side of things
he's done a great
is
job.
huge.
Because his personality fits
Yes,
like how to.
people love working with him. So when there's a problem,
When they're mad, he can steer it out.
yeah, you can stare it out quickly. I feel like you have something else you want to say.
No, I'm over here trying not to interrupt.
Oh, okay. Is there
So-
something you have a question about?
Well, the thing that I meant to ask
Okay,
a
ask
couple
it.
minutes ago was more of an observation. When it comes to being kind and family focused, as opposed to a lot of the LOs, not necessarily here, but in the industry as a whole, who are all about numbers and grinding. It's just it's neat to see the people who aren't like that are some of the top producers in our company,
sure.
right? I mean, that's just, there's so many, and not that I know personally, but people I follow, a bunch of research I've done, and they just don't seem like really nice people. And I don't know what their numbers are compared to yours, but it is great to see that somebody who's got like a really solid foundation of goodness generally, right? That are just killing it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, the culture's built around, like I said, treat people like you want to be treated, so try not to ruffle feathers. Some of the challenges, which I think is fair to everybody in the business or even in your system, is sometimes you get caught up in the bubble. Sometimes we don't even realize how good we are. It's like what Ryan keeps saying about, trust me, we got our battles, internal battles of just struggles or someone not communicating the right way. But I do believe everybody in our office obviously goes back to the family culture, and then we circle back. So there's always respect. We, like I said, we talk to one another without
You're respectful.
it goes a long way, yeah, when you respect one another's position, their job, their knowledge. Most of our people are seasoned. Like, we're not worried about the little challenges. We can always battle through that. So sometimes we forget because you live in your bubble. And then once you get outside your bubble, everybody needs to have a conversation with different people. But you start to realize, oh, okay, it's not too bad actually.
Yeah.
But we enjoy it because we do feel like we don't ruffle feathers. And again, VIP stays out of our way, and they let us operate within their system, and that's been huge to us. I mean, that's what's appealing. Plus, like we talked about the people. I mean, like Jay, Keith, Ryan, Stewart. John, Chavez. I mean, like there's a ton of them. That the culture that we wanted to see, those people are the same, live the same characteristics that we live, and that was a deal sealer for us.
Do you think your Mormon upbringing informed your adult professional attitude in terms of how you treat people? I mean, we grew up with a lot of Mormons in our neighborhood, and they were some of like the best people in terms of, you know, their family values. And
I would say that service, family values, a lot of good positives. Let's say this, I didn't ever listen to understand what was going on as far as these church teachings. That wasn't my gig, just like school. Like, I think I got a 2.2 GPA. Like, not interesting to me. Until something's interesting, I'll go all in. And like I said, football was always passionate about, and I loved doing it. I loved learning about it. But if I'm not into it, and obviously what that helps you build, and like I said, family, people around me definitely help shape me to some of the qualities we try to preach. Yeah.
So I think to wrap this up, right now we had talked earlier, like the recruiting side of things in this business is it's pretty nuts right now, especially for a few things. People had huge years last year, and because of the refi, so we don't get caught up in those numbers really, because they're not necessarily normal. And somebody who did 90% refis last year probably aren't going to be doing a huge number next year. But I think it's important for people looking, and this is kind of the recruiting thing. I haven't really done this much, but I think it's important because everybody's kind of getting recruited. If you're doing any business, you're getting phone calls. We probably should make more phone calls, but we really don't. And we kind of want to keep. We may make a phone call to the people that we see something pretty quick. We're really good at reading people, and if, like you said with Aaron, you met him at a deal, that was something different. Like I have a couple guys I've been talking to for a long time that are just my friends at this point. Right. And one day we may work together, one day we may not. But I think if people are out there, and then any of this resonates, that feel free to. I think you should reach out, to be honest with you, to Kent or myself. I don't care which avenue you go about it, because we don't need, but we do want good people, and we do want good people to be in our corner. It makes this job so much more fun. We have fun people. We like you guys. We have a really cool team full of cool people, right?
With nepotism.
And again, family as well. Trisha's now on the team too. Technically, Trey's on our team now too. And Taylor, Bree's daughter's now on our team. And it's just going to grow and grow and grow as our branch grows. But I don't know. I just think that if you're an L out there, or even if you're a realtor out there and you're looking for a new partner, it's the good even agents. They really just want to work with people that they know they can get the job done really well. And some just and they just want to hang out too. Yeah, exactly.
Be friends first.
Yeah, be friends first,
and that somewhere else before you get into business.
Exactly. I think that's super important.
And same thing. Yeah, I mean, find out what you want and what's important to you. If culture, operational, service, delivery, circling yourself with the right people, same values. If that's important, it's worth it. It's worth the conversation, because everybody's in different stages of their life, and if those things line up, love to chat. Yeah, obviously.
All right, one last question. Who do you think that we should have on this podcast? Like one specific person.
In mortgage business, could be anybody.
Just anybody you find that's super interesting. Could be in the mortgage business, could be in real estate, could be doing anything, but would be a really good interview.
God, we're stumping him.
And I said I was going to give fast answers. This is embarrassing, actually. I would say my brother-in-law.
Yeah. The one that owns the Germain Water Sports, or whatever.
No, he's Ben Brown over at. He's a Henry Brown, like the Brown and Brown car dealerships.
Your brother-in-law is your sister's married to.
Hannah's sister is married.
Oh, Hannah's sister's married. Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's a killer. I mean, he has good life experiences. Same thing, like he's put the grind down. I think he's the #1 salesman in all of GMC. Like,
Wow.
Really?
very impressive. But he works. He'd be Austin Bates.
Really?
In
In the car sales
business,
with?
yeah.
Wow.
but lives by yeah.
Just
He's
a
just
good dude, fun
interesting,
guy.
yeah, interesting,
I've met some of
different
those
perspective.
Brown and Brown boys.
Oh yeah,
They're pretty
Good time.
wild. They're
Good
crazy.
time. Right. Never
You
gonna
have
say
some
you have
good-
a bad time.
You've had some good. Sorry, I do this every time. The other guy though that runs the tire shop.
I was gonna say him,
is-
Ryan Gunnell.
Yeah.
He's one of those. He started at 16 years old swapping tires, and now he's an owner, a majority owner.
Of
and
basically like a freaking
It's called
mini
Gun-
discount.
yeah, Gunnell's
Wow.
Tires has few locations.
Yeah,
It's a lot
Gunnell's-
of commercial buildings, but 16 and never left. And
Yeah.
he's a grinder.
Just been
and
working.
just smart. Yeah.
That's inspiring.
You run within some
Yeah.
people that are doing some big things too on that.
And it's inspiring. Like, okay,
Yeah.
everybody.
Well, it's just hard work, right? It's
Right,
like
at
you
the end
see
of the
that
day,
stuff. It's like, man, this dude's been doing this selling tires since he was 16. But now, I mean, he has an amazing life and he's cool as shit. And he's still there.
Oh yeah.
You know, because he helped me with my rims and tires, like for Aiden's truck,
And he-
Aiden's car.
Yeah.
Right?
He,
You know,
he
he's
works too.
30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do any other rapid fire questions before we wrap this up,
Oh,
Trish?
no.
Just one good one, or we think we good?
I think we're good.
I think we're
We'll-
good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll let Ken
I think
off
that
the
was a
hook.
good one. So, what's the
Yeah.
name of your brother-in-law?
Ben Brown.
Okay, you're gonna help me out with
I
that.
can help you out with that.
Okay.
Or Ryan. It'd be-
Ryan or Ben?
Ryan's funny stories.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
Ryan's
Yeah.
last name?
Gunnell.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be following up on that on both.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming, dude. This is really fun.
Hey.
Glad we got you on here. I do want to get Jay, Ray, and Mike on here too. I think it'd be fun one day to get all three of you on together, but we'd have to get new headsets and all new equipment.
Well, we can
Few
borrow
additions.
from Jason
Okay.
some
Hey,
stuff.
I did
'cause,
want
yeah,
to
that'd be
say,
great.
one, appreciate you. One, being a friend. Two, being able to run with you at the same company. And three, hoping I brought some value to your show and allowing me on it. So appreciate that.
That was
Very
and
killer.
it was so
Thank you
nice to
for-
finally meet you.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
it seems bizarre that I haven't met you before because I've
Yeah.
heard so much about
Hey,
you over the
thank you.
years.
Yeah.
So.
So
Well, Kent, you know we love you, so we appreciate you. You did bring value, and I think this was a really smooth flowing, just good conversation one, and
Killer.
you know hopefully we can get some people to watch it and listen to it. So
And it will be in the VIP newsletter.
It will be?
Oh, killer.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So that
So-
will.
Nice
I'll-
shout out.
Yeah.
So hopefully your colleagues here.
Killer.
we need our guests to help us promote this.
Where
as
can I
well.
help? Yeah.
So you do need to have all your friends and family watch this, but we're gonna have to have you do a little, like it'll be aired next week.
Gotcha.
So before that, you'll have to do a little shout out, some promo, help us with that stuff. You
Oh,
can
I'd
have
love to.
You can have
Right.
Sierra help with all that stuff.
I
we need
expect, like, some
everybody to
brand-
go
Some
on
funny,
to-
something funny.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll come up.
So everybody else, we need you to go on to YouTube, like and subscribe, please. Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. Please go to Instagram, Facebook. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. When I say I always say Apple Podcasts. I feel like one time you said that was like that's what it's called, right?
No,
That's where
that's correct.
That's where I listen. I
Apple
listen on
Podcasts?
Yeah.
the Apple Podcast.
And
Okay.
Spotify.
And then obviously Spotify. So please either listen to it, watch it. We need some people to get on and listen to these and share them with their friends and family and colleagues, because that's the only
That
way
can
we can
help.
keep doing this.
For sure.
Because right now I have to pay for it.
Hey, yeah. Love
And
to help out.
we did have two companies reach out to sponsor, but we're not gonna do that to them quite yet. But once we get enough people going, I think it will help, and we can get this going well enough where
Keep
where
growing
we
the
can,
audience.
we can keep Trey full time and not let him go back to LA.
Yeah,
and make
no.
movies and stuff, music videos for rappers.
Yeah, keep them back. That's a solid. That's a solid
This is
operation.
dream job.
Right.
Yeah, right. All right. So
Yep.
thank you, VIP Mortgage, again for letting us do this in this beautiful office space. We really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody that has been listening. Please check out all the episodes that we've previously done. And again, this one will be coming out next week. Or actually, when they watch this, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, you're episode 25. It's kind of a big
It's a
there we
milestone.
go. There we go.
It's a
That's
milestone
benchmark.
episode.
There we go.
So, all right. Thanks again. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
you.
it. Real Talk is brought to you by Escrow, the letter S, grow. Disorganization and constant communication are huge problems in the real estate journey. And it's an issue that I think most real estate agents, well, at least some real estate agents, struggle with in their CRM systems. There's a lot of options out there, and a lot of people have different ones. And when I'm speaking with the agents that we work with, or that are our referral partners, the big hurdle is the actual creation of the templates and actually creating the automation that goes out for milestones. So escrow kind of takes all that away. So everything's pre-written for you. You have multiple choices to go from, to choose from, I'm sorry. So if you're looking for a CRM system that is super easy to use and will eliminate a lot of the confusion and the heavy lifting up front, go to escrow.com, the letter S, grow.com.
VIP Mortgage Incorporated does business in accordance with the Federal Fair Lending Laws, NMLS ID 145502. For state-specific licensing, please visit www.vipmtg.com/national-licenses/. VIP is not acting on behalf of or at the direction of the FHA, HUD, or the federal government. VIP is an equal housing lender.